Have you ever noticed that the more deeply you think, the harder it becomes to connect with others? That the more questions you ask, the fewer people want to hear the answers? If you've ever felt that way, you're not imagining things. Throughout history, society has always been uneasy around those who think differently, not because deep thinkers are wrong, but because they reveal truths most would rather avoid. From Socrates being condemned in Athens, to Galileo silenced by the church, to visionaries like Tesla being dismissed in their own time, the pattern is clear. People who push thought beyond the ordinary are often ignored, mocked, or even punished, not because their ideas lack value, but because they make others uncomfortable. The philosopher Schopenhauer once suggested that great intelligence can feel like a burden, isolating the very people who see reality with unusual clarity. But why is this the case? Why is society so quick to resist people who think in unconventional ways? The answer lies not only in culture, but in psychology. Think about it like this. When you stand beside someone stronger than you don't feel attacked. You admire their strength. When you see someone with wealth, maybe you feel envy, but not personal insult. These qualities are external. They don't strike at the core of who we are. But intelligence is different. Intelligence is tied to identity. Our thoughts, beliefs, and perspectives form the foundation of how we see ourselves. When we encounter someone who questions our assumptions or demonstrates a deeper level of understanding, it can feel like a challenge to our very sense of self. Psychologists call this the mirror effect. Deep thinkers unintentionally reflect the limitations of others back at them, and people don't always appreciate what that mirror shows. This explains why, throughout history, intellectuals have often lived on the margins. They don't just challenge ideas, they challenge egos. And humans, by nature, defend their egos fiercely. Consider your own life for a moment. Have you ever shared a thought that felt profound to you, only to be met with silence or a quick change of subject? That reaction isn't random. It's a defense mechanism. Instead of leaning into curiosity, many people instinctively retreat from discomfort. And here's something interesting. Studies reveal that, in social settings, confidence is often valued more highly than intelligence. People gravitate toward those who speak with certainty, even if the ideas are shallow. Meanwhile, those who approach ideas with nuance or caution, hallmarks of deep thinkers, often go unheard. This is why charismatic influencers or motivational speakers rise quickly, while careful philosophers struggle to find a wide audience. This is the paradox of intelligence. The deeper someone pursues truth, the more isolated they may feel from the crowd. Modern neuroscience even suggests a biological explanation. Research shows that when people feel intellectually outmatched, the amygdala, the part of the brain linked to fear and threat detection, activates. In other words, encountering someone who seems too intelligent can trigger the same defensive response as facing a physical threat. Why would that be? The answer may lie in human evolution. For most of history, survival depended less on brilliance and more on belonging. In tribal societies, being excluded from the group was dangerous. Our brains evolved to value acceptance and harmony above abstract truth. When a deep thinker disrupts that harmony, even unintentionally, the group often reacts as though a threat has entered the circle. This tension plays out even today. Deep thinkers often find meaningful one-on-one conversations, but in larger groups, they can feel shut out. In groups, social status becomes more important than truth. People compare themselves to others, and when intelligence threatens that status, the instinct to undermine or dismiss kicks in. Philosophers like Schopenhauer believed this divide runs even deeper. He argued that most people are guided by the will to live, the pursuit of comfort, pleasure, and survival. But deep thinkers develop what he called a will to truth, a relentless drive to understand reality, even when the truth is unsettling. This pursuit often creates a disconnect. While the majority seek comfort, the thinker seeks meaning, even at the cost of happiness. The result is often a sense of distance. Where most find joy in small talk, routine, or social games, deep thinkers may see these as distractions. Where others chase status or success, thinkers question the very purpose of those pursuits. The more clearly they see, the harder it becomes to relate. In that sense, intelligence is both a gift and a burden. It opens doors to profound insight, but it can also leave one standing apart from the crowd. The more you think, the lonelier you may feel. Yet maybe that loneliness carries its own kind of meaning. To think deeply is to walk a path not everyone is ready to follow. It doesn't make the path less valuable. It makes it rare. So, the next time you feel isolated in your thoughts, remember this: you are not alone in your loneliness. You are part of a long tradition of minds who chose truth over comfort, even when it set them apart. And perhaps, in the end, that is where true freedom begins.